Welcome back to another explosive episode where we dive deep into the heart-pounding world of daytime television drama. Today, we're talking about the moment that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Danny DeVito, the pint-sized powerhouse of Hollywood, absolutely erupting live on The View after Joy Behar drops what can only be described as an outrageous bombshell comment. Picture this: it's a sunny afternoon in the ABC studios. The set buzzing with the usual mix of laughter, applause, and that signature View energy where topics range from celebrity gossip to global politics in the blink of an eye. The panel is in full swing, Whoopi Goldberg steering the ship with her effortless charisma, Sunny Hostin bringing the legal heat, Sarah Haynes keeping it light and relatable, Alyssa Farah Griffin adding that conservative spice, and of course, the queen of unfiltered opinions, Joy Behar, ready to unleash whatever's percolating in that sharp New York mind of hers. Danny DeVito, fresh off promoting his latest quirky indie film that's got critics raving about his return to form, is the guest of honor. He's there in his trademark disheveled charm, that gravelly voice already cracking jokes about everything from his height to his eternal love for penguins. The audience is eating it up, chuckling along as Danny regales them with tales from the set of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's still the unhinged Frank Reynolds, scheming and stumbling through life's absurdities. But then, as the conversation pivots to Hollywood's evolving landscape, specifically the push for more diverse casting and the backlash against typecasting shorter actors, Joy leans in with that mischievous glint in her eye. She's always been the one to poke the bear, and today, that bear is Danny. Without missing a beat, she quips, "Danny, honey, let's be real, you've built a whole career on being the adorable little troll under the bridge. If we start casting giants like The Rock in your roles, where does that leave you? Back to voicing garden gnomes?" The studio erupts in polite laughter at first, the kind that's half genuine, half nervous, because Joy's delivery is impeccable, laced with that faux affectionate tone that makes her barbs land like velvet-covered bricks. But Danny? Oh, Danny doesn't laugh. His face shifts from the easygoing grin to something fiercer, his bushy eyebrows knitting together like storm clouds rolling in over Jersey. The audience senses the shift, the applause dying down to a murmur as Whoopi tries to smooth it over with a quick "Joy, you slay me." But it's too late. The spark is lit, and Danny DeVito is about to fan it into a full-blown inferno. What follows is pure, unadulterated television gold. A masterclass in how a 4'10" legend can dominate a room without raising from his seat. As the cameras zoom in, capturing every twitch of his expressive face, Danny leans forward, his voice dropping to that signature rasp that's equal parts menace and mirth. "Joy, sweetheart," he begins, drawing out the words like he's savoring a fine cigar. "I've been called a lot of things in this buzziness: a midget, short stack, the guy who makes Tom Cruise look like a skyscraper, but adorable little troll." That's a new one. And coming from you, the woman who's spent decades playing the sassy aunt who gatekeeps the family secrets? Pot, meet kettle. The panel freezes. Sarah's eyes widen like saucers, Sunny covers her mouth to stifle a gasp, and Alyssa looks torn between defending her co-host and applauding the clapback. Joy, ever the trooper, tries to volley back with a wave of her hand and a "Oh, come on, Danny, it's all in fun." But Danny's not having it. He's on a roll now, his hands gesturing wildly, that compact frame somehow expanding to fill the entire screen. He launches into a tirade that's equal parts hilarious and heartfelt, recounting the slings and arrows he's endured, and not just the height jokes, but the real fights for roles that weren't written for someone like him. "You think it's easy being the punchline?" he bellows, his voice booming through the microphones like thunder in a teacup. "I've clawed my way from off-Broadway obscurity to rubbing shoulders with Spielberg, all while dodging quips about my stature. And now, in 2025, when we're finally talking inclusivity, you wanna reduce me to a garden gnome." Newsflash, Joy, trolls have feelings too, and this one's done playing nice. The audience, initially stunned, starts to cheer, a wave of support tripling through the crowd as they recognize the raw truth beneath the comedy. Whoopi, sensing the need to intervene, jumps in with her booming laugh. All right, Danny's bringing the heat today. I pass the popcorn." But Danny's momentum is unstoppable. He's weaving in references to his iconic roles, from the wisecracking Louie in Taxi to the diabolical Penguin in Batman Returns, each one a testament to his range beyond the physical. "I've terrorized Gotham," he declares, pounding the table lightly for emphasis. "And you're worried about typecasting? Try directing a blockbuster with flippers for hands and see how that feels." Joy, to her credit, doesn't back down entirely. She fires off a retort about how comedy thrives on exaggeration, but it's clear the wind has shifted. Danny's eruption isn't just anger, it's a cathartic release, a reminder that even the funny men have their limits. As the segment stretches on, far beyond its allotted time, the conversation morphs into something deeper. A raw discussion on ageism, ableism, and the double-edged sword of self-deprecating humor in Hollywood. Viewers at home are glued to their screens, tweets exploding across X with hashtags like #DannyDefends and #Joy vs DeVito trending in minutes. It's the kind of unscripted magic that makes The View legendary, but with Danny at the helm, it's elevated to mythic status. And as the commercial break looms, Danny seals it with a wink and a zinger. "Joy, next time you want to troll, bring a bigger bridge. Mine's got a troll tax." Fade to black, but the echoes linger, proving once again that in the arena of talk shows, size doesn't matter, fire does. Fast forward a bit, and we're peeling back the layers of what made this eruption so seismic, because let's face it, Danny DeVito didn't just snap, he detonated a conversation that's been simmering in the entertainment world for years. As the cameras roll back into action post-break, the tension is palpable, like the air before a summer storm, thick, electric, and impossible to ignore. Joy, ever the resilient one, kicks things off with an olive branch disguised as a joke. "Danny, I love you like the little brother I never wanted, a troublemaking and all, but seriously, did I strike a nerve?" It's classic Joy deflecting with affection while probing for more, her Brooklyn accent wrapping around the words like a warm scarf on a chilly day. Danny, cooled just enough to engage without exploding anew, chuckles lowly, that signature hey hey that sends ripples of relief through the audience. But his eyes, they're still sparking, a testament to the depth of feeling beneath the bluster. "Strike a nerve? Joy, you hit the whole nervous system," he retorts, his voice gaining traction as he settles into storyteller mode. What unfolds next is a masterclass in vulnerability wrapped in wit. As Danny opens up about the microaggressions that pepper his career like unwanted sprinkles on a Sunday, he recounts a pivotal moment from the 80s, auditioning for a rom-com lead only to be told, "Great read, but we need someone taller for the love scene as a chemistry requires elevation." The panel leans in, Whoopi nodding solemnly, her own history of breaking barriers echoing in the silence. Sunny chimes in with a statistic: "Did you know that only 2% of leading roles go to actors under 5'2"? Turning the personal into the political in that seamless View way. Alyssa, drawing from her White House days, adds a layer about public perception, how even presidents face height jabs, but for actors, it's baked into the script. Sarah, the mom of the group, shares a heartfelt story about her kids idolizing Danny not for his size but his spirit, the way he turns flaws into superpowers. Joy listens, her usual rapid-fire energy tempered, and admits, "Look, I come from stand-up, punching up is my jam, but sometimes the punch lands sideways." It's a rare moment of concession from the veteran comic, and Danny acknowledges it with a nod. "Appreciate that, Joy. We're all just trying to keep the laughs coming without losing ourselves in the process." But don't think the fire's out. Danny reignites it masterfully when the talk turns to modern casting controversies. He name-drops recent flops where studios shoehorn diversity without authenticity, arguing passionately that true inclusion means roles for all bodies, not just swapping skin tones. "I've seen friends of brilliant talents sidelined because they don't fit the Instagram filter," he growls, his fists clenching subtly. The audience erupts in applause, phones out recording every word, because this isn't just DeVito venting, it's a rallying cry for an industry in flux. Whoopi steers it toward hope, spotlighting Danny's upcoming project, a dramedy where he plays a height-obsessed matchmaker, flipping the script on tropes. "See, you're writing your own narrative now," she says, and Danny beams, "Damn right, who needs a ladder when you've got a storyboard?" As the segment builds, guest call-ins flooding, fellow short kings like Peter Dinklage tweeting support, while taller stars like Chris Hemsworth post memes of themselves looking up to Danny. The View's social feeds light up, clips going viral faster than a TikTok dance challenge. Joy, redeemed in the eyes of many, even invites Danny for a rematch, promising no troll talk, just tuna melts your favorite. Danny accepts with a sly grin. Deal, but if I bring the penguins, you're buying fish. Laughter fills the studio again, but it's richer now, layered with respect turned through the fray. This eruption? It's not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough, reminding us that the best TV isn't scripted, it's sparked by souls brave enough to bear them. And as Danny exits stage left, waving to adoring fans, one thing's clear: in the game of talk show thrones, the smallest voice often roars the loudest. The internet, meanwhile, is ablaze of memes of Danny as a fiery hobbit battling Joy's dragoness, flooding every platform, turning a potential feud into a fandom frenzy. Behind the scenes, producers high-five over ratings gold, knowing this clip will be dissected on late-night shows for weeks. But for Danny, it's simpler: a win for the underdogs, a reminder that outrage, when channeled right, builds bridges taller than any quip can topple. Now, let's zoom out and explore the ripple effects of Danny's live detonation, because what happened on The View didn't stay confined to that brightly lit soundstage. It cascaded into a cultural tsunami that reshaped conversations from water coolers to award shows. Hours after the broadcast, as East Coast viewers nursed their coffees and West Coast ones hit replay, the clip exploded across social media like confetti at a parade no one saw coming. X, formerly Twitter, became ground zero. #DeVito ERUPTS amassing millions of views, with users from Gen Z meme lords to boomer talk show diehards weighing in. One viral thread dissected Joy's comment frame by frame, hailing Danny's response as the mic drop of the millennium, complete with gifs of his eyebrow arch sinking to dramatic orchestral swells. Celebrities piled in. Seth Rogen tweeted a photo of himself standing next to Danny captioned, "Finally, someone shorter than my ego keeps laying, king," while Meryl Streep, ever the class act, posted a throwback from their Matilda collaboration. "Danny taught me height is irrelevant, heart is everything. Joy, love ya, but he's the giant here." Even political figures got involved, with a senator quipping about troll taxes in a filibuster nod, blending levity with the very inclusivity Danny championed. Back on The View set the next day, the panel reconvened with a segment titled DeVito Aftermath, Trolls, Talks, and Tuna, where Joy owned her zinger's edge, sharing a story from her own career: early gigs where her accent and age were liabilities until she weaponized them. Whoopi facilitated a round-table vibe, inviting virtual guests like a body-positive activist and a casting director who confessed, "Danny's right, we've been lazy with labels." Sunny dropped more stats: Hollywood's height bias costs the industry billions in untapped talent, citing studies from USC's Annenberg Inclusion Initiative. Sarah humanized it further, polling the audience on their troll moments. Everyday slights turned into stories of resilience. Alyssa, bridging divides, noted how such spets highlight free speech's double blade, praising both for keeping it civil yet spicy. Meanwhile, Danny's phone buzzes non-stop, offers for podcasts, cameos, even a branded line of troll-proof motivational merch, tiny figurines of himself mid-eruption, slogan short fuse, long legacy. He laughs it off in a quick Instagram live from his LA home, surrounded by his signature clutter of scripts and soda cans, recounting the frenzy with self-deprecating flair. "Folks, I didn't erupt, I just burped up some truth after too much green juice." But beneath the humor, he's reflective, thanking fans for the outpouring and urging aspiring actors to own your aura, it's your superpower. The eruption's echo reaches academia too. Film studies prof Sat new tweet analyzes comparing it to classic confrontations like Norm Macdonald roasting Conan, framing Danny as the everyman's Avenger against elitism. Late night hosts feast. Jimmy Fallon recreates the scene with audience plants. Stephen Colbert pens a monologue on the tyranny of the tape measure, and on the edgier side, Bill Maher debates if Joy's comment was punching down or just bad aim. Ratings for The View spike 40%, proving controversy sells, but more importantly, it sells stories, real ones about perseverance. Joy, in a solo interview on her podcast, reveals a softer side. Danny's a gem that fire, it's why we love him. Made me check my own blind spots. Their rapport mends publicly with a joint photo op at a charity gala, arms linked, captions reading from trolls to allies. For Danny, it's validation after decades. A lifetime achievement nod from the Emmys committee follows, spotlighting his unfiltered authenticity. Fans flood theaters for his new film, box office soaring as word spreads of the eruption effect. In schools, teachers use the clip for lessons on empathy and media literacy. Kids debating was Joy wrong or just woke. It's a teachable moment wrapped in entertainment, proving TV's power to provoke progress. As weeks pass, the frenzy fades, but the impact lingers like a good burp, clearing the air for fresher breaths. Danny returns to sunny set for round 2, no holds barred, but this time, it's harmony, shared laughs over industry absurdities, a duet on an old show tune that has the audience on its feet. The eruption, it didn't divide, it distilled a pure essence of why we tune in, for the messiness that mirrors our own. In a world of polished feeds, Danny's roar reminds us, authenticity erupts, and we all rise with the tide. Delving deeper into the anatomy of this on-air Armageddon, it's worth unpacking the psychological undercurrents that turned a casual quip into a quotable quake. Because Danny DeVito's reaction wasn't born in a vacuum, it was forged in the fires of a lifetime navigating a taller world. Psychologists later chimed in on podcasts like The Therapy Hour, labeling it a textbook trigger response, that split second when a microaggression macro explodes, rooted in cumulative slights rather than a single sting. Danny himself, in a reflective Vanity Fair piece penned post-chaos, traces it back to childhood in Asbury Park, where neighborhood kids dubbed him Danny the Dwarf, a moniker he flipped into fuel for his stage dreams. Jokes were my armor, he writes, but even chainmail has chinks. On The View, Joy's troll line pierced Onion, unintentionally evoking those echoes, amplified by the hot lights and live stakes. Joy, in her defense, hails from a comedy crucible where roast or be roasted was gospel. Her 1980s stand-up specials brimmed with self-lacerating bits on her ethnic looks and menopausal vibe, turning pain into punchlines. Yet, as cultural critic Roxane Gay noted in the New Yorker op-ed, humor's hierarchy matters. Who's laughing with, who's at? The eruption spotlighted that fault line, sparking think pieces in Variety and The Atlantic on the ethics of edginess in 2025. Where cancel culture collides with comedic license. Danny's retort, they argue, modeled accountable anger, fierce yet forgiving, educational without preachy. Behind the glamour, production logs reveal this segment's chaos. Mixed hot, no commercial buffer, Whoopi's ad-libs buying time as producers sweated in the booth. Post-taping, Danny and Joy shared a green room hug, trading numbers for that promised tuna melt truce. Humanizing the headlines. It humanizes too for viewers. Surveys from Nielsen show a 25% uptick in relatable content seekers post-episode. Folks craving celebs who crack under pressure, not pose perfect. Danny's film promo, supercharged the trailer's edit in a cheeky nod to the clip, his character growling troll tax payable in applause. Joy's book sales for her memoir Joyful Noise surge, fans praising her real talk resilience. Crossovers abound, a SNL skit with Kate McKinnon as a pint-sized DeVito clone battling a giant Behar puppet, grossing laughs and Grammys buzz. Educational tie-ins proliferate, workshops at SAG-AFTRA on navigating the nerves, using Danny's footage as case study. His eruption even inspires art. Street murals in LA depict him as a volcanic gnome, spewing truth bubbles, while indie musicians drop tracks like Short King's Fury, sampling his rasp over trap beats. Philanthropy follows. Danny launches a fund for undersized artists, seed money from eruption merch, partnering with Little People of America for scholarships. Joy co-signs, hosting a telethon where they banter anew, chemistry crackling like old pros. The media maelstrom morphs into mentorship. A young comics DM Danny for advice. His reply all mantra, erupt smart, rebuild stronger. Alyssa on The View dedicates a pod to Triggered and Triumphant, interviewing therapists on reclaiming narrative. Sunny's legal lens exposes contract clauses burying bias clauses, pushing for reforms. Sarah's Family Angle, a cookbook collab, troll-proof recipes, with Danny's penguin-shaped cookies. It's a full-circle feast, from feud to fellowship. Globally, translations ripple. BBC calls it Yankee Sasquatch. Al Jazeera frames it as Hollywood's height hurdle. Danny, jetting to London for press, quips to Graham Norton, "Joy started a revolution, I just provided the spark plugs." Fans mob him, not for autographs, but affirmations. "You spoke for us." The psychological payoff? Catharsis Collective, a balm for anyone who's ever felt diminished. In therapy speak, it's exposure with response prevention of facing the jab, flipping the script. Danny embodies it, his post-eruption glow undeniable. Lighter step, sharper scripts, a man unburdened. Joy evolves too. Her next special softer-edged, titled Behar's Blind Spots. Together, they've alchemized awkward into awesome, proving eruptions aren't endings of their evolutions, lava cooling into fertile ground where new stories sprout. And in that fertile field, Danny DeVito stands tallest of all. Shifting gears to the broader implications, Danny's View volcano didn't just entertain, it ignited a bonfire of industry introspection, forcing Hollywood's gatekeepers to confront the cobwebs in their casting closets. Within days, A-list agents scrambled, whispers of DeVito clauses in contracts, stipulating anti-bias audits for auditions, gaining traction from KTWME. Studios like Warner Brothers, stung by Penguin prequel backlash, greenlight a slate of vertically diverse projects, a think heist flicks led by ensembles where hides the hero, not the hindrance. Disney, ever image-conscious, taps Danny for a live-action short-circuit reboot, his wisecracking robot sidekick quipping "Size matters, no to judge me by my droid work." Netflix, sensing the zeitgeist, commissions a docuseries Little Legends, profiling short-statured icons from Her Village AIs to Warwick Davis, narrated by DeVito's gravelly gravitas. Joy, not one to sit sidelined, pitches a views been off outrageous opinions, but with a twist, episodes moderated by sensitivity coaches, blending bite with balance. Ratings projections, through the roof, as audiences crave controversy curated, philanthropic pivots accelerate. The Screen Actors Guild unveils eruption equity grants, funneling residuals from viral clips into diversity training. Danny headlines the fundraisers, his speech is a blend of stand-up and sermon. "We laughed our way here, now let's build ladders, not look down them." Celebrities cascade support as Zach Galifianakis hosts a roast where jabs are pre-vetted for punch-up purity. Elton John dedicates a concert encore to Tiny Dancer. DeVito edition. Political cross-pollination peaks. Biden, in a Rose Garden nod, jokes even presidents borrow from Danny's playbook, a short on stature, tall on talk. Kamala Harris, campaigning, cites it in a rally on representation, from the View to the vote. Every voice erupts change. Internationally, Bollywood buzzes with remake as Shah Rukh Khan channels Danny in a satire on star sizes, while K-dramas weave troll tropes into empowerment arcs. Merch madness ensues. Etsy floods with troll tax tees, Funko Pops of erupting DeVito mid-rant, even a board game View vendettas where players debate to dominate. Joy's line, Behar's barbs hot saucy as spicy, but with a handle with heart label. Educational ecosystems evolve. Film schools at UCLA mandate DeVito modules, dissecting the clip for ethics and empathy. High school debates rage, quip or quit, the line between laughs and limits. Social media morphs to a X rolls out eruption alerts, flagging viral spats for context threads, curbing echo chambers. TikTok tutorials teach DeVito defense, roleplays for retorting microaggressions with mirth. Podcast proliferation. The eruption effect charts its cultural carbon footprint, guests from therapists to trend forecasters. Economically, it's a boon. Eruption-inspired tourism hits NYC, View tapings oversubscribed. Danny's Jersey hometown erects a DeVito plaza with pint-sized statues. Environmentally conscious, he pivots proceeds to short forests, planting dwarf trees symbolizing sturdy undergrowth. Joy joins, her gala gown embroidered with penguin motifs. Legacy-wise, it's etched in ether. Emmy nods for Outstanding Unscripted Moment, People's Choice for Voice of the Voiceless. Danny's memoir update sells out. Chapters on the joy of joyful jabs. Their duo dynamic dazzles guest spots on each other's pods, trading tales of triumphs and tumbles. Fans forge communities. DeVito's dwarves online hubs for high-agnostic networking, job shares, love matches. It's a movement miniaturized yet mighty, proving one live wire lunch can lunch the status quo. As 2025 unfolds, the aftershocks settle into steady stride. Some more roles for real bodies, fewer filler filters. Danny, surveying from his director's chair on a new Sunny spin-off, muses to variety, erupted once, evolved forever. Joy concurs in her column, outrageous, maybe, outdated, never again. Together, they've trolled the trolls, emerging as unlikely icons of an industry reborn as shorter, sharper, and soulfully seismic. The View, it views anew, panels more panoramic, provocations purposeful. In this post-eruption era, entertainment's not just escapade, it's elevated, one unfiltered outburst at a time.